Climbers, today we're going to talk about the 10 commandments
Ooh, yippee!
of music promotion.
I mean, those are good too.
Welcome to the Climb! This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business, people. You gotta have a track record. You gotta prove that what you're doing has value and that people are standing up, paying attention, and saluting your flagpole. Right? I said flagpole. This is the way it works in the music industry today. And the good news is you get to be in complete control of it. No more dancing chickens. I feel like this is going to filter all that out. That's why we called it the Climb, C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business. That's a dirty old Baxter from my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter. Brent's a good friend of mine, but he's also a hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols, and more. Southern gospel #1's in there too. Does bluegrass. He does it all, people. Well, almost all of it. And what I love about Brent, though, is that he helps songwriters like you turn pro by revealing how you write like a pro, how you do business like a pro. And the final piece of the puzzle is get to know the pros, is get some relationships going, have some places, some repositories to take your professional work to, who are these people are there to take it to the next level. And you get opportunities to meet these kinds of people all the time through Brent over at songwritingpro.com. Once again, that's songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're helping artists break digitally by identifying new fans through data. Yeah, it's complicated, but thankfully, Johnny has a big old brain under that tall hair. If you're an artist looking to increase your streams, blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production, singular, no S, and there's no S because there is no other Johnny. D.
10 Commandments.
10 Commandments, thou shalt not, the breakfast cereals and the...
Did you, speaking of Monty Python, did you ever see The Life of Brian?
Man, no. I'm not sure about that one.
But
no, I haven't seen it yet.
Do you know what the premise of it is?
Yeah, it's like they picked the wrong Jesus.
Yeah, the wise men went to the wrong manger.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
They went to the one next door.
And
Brian's just like a regular guy. He's like, no, go away. Like, leave me alone. Everybody's like, no, but you're the one. He's like, no, it's not me. But one of I can't remember if it was The Life of Brian or if it might have been The Meaning of Life. But there was the scene where Moses is up on the mountaintop and he's got the 15 commandments.
Oh, yeah.
But they're really heavy because they're chiseled in stone. He's like, right. Here are the 15. And he breaks one. He's like, 10 commandments. Anyway, I don't know why that made me chuckle today, but that's the way my brain works.
Yeah.
When it comes in. But how you doing, brother? We're going to talk about some commandments right now. Don't break them.
Man, it sounds legalistic to me, but whatever. I'm all about some grace. But I'm interested. You have my attention.
Listen, you break one of these commandments, you will end up
broke
in artist hell.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So join the Climb community on Facebook if you haven't done already. You have to ask to join, but we let everybody in. And then you just got to be good boys and girls. We want you to add value to this community, not suck it away. We don't want you to suck.
No.
Right? No vampires.
No vampires.
Vampires are roles that require you to suck. We do not want you to suck. We want you to add. Want you to add value. So when you're putting stuff into the feed, which you can only do if it adds value to everybody. But if you're listening to this podcast and if you've got a gig, we got a place for you to put that. You'll see the post and put it in the comment section on that post every single week. It's the, what is it, gigs?
We have Gig Alert, which comes out every Thursday morning, but you can add to it whenever you want to. We have Music Monday, which is where, hey, let us hear your music as a comment under Music Monday. Any day of the week. There. But it's the Music Monday post. That's when it comes out. And we also have the New Heights, which comes out every Wednesday, where we encourage you to share your wins so we can celebrate with you.
We
and
got
know
some
who
new
we
heights.
need to germ and hitch our wagon to.
Yeah. Do we have
As always, we do. We have some wins, and just share a couple of these. And let's see here. This is from a little further back, end of October. But Taylor Hughes Music said, I recently had the honor of singing our national anthem at the UK versus Mississippi State football game. Go Big Blue. Taylor says that, not me. But I have no hate for Kentucky unless it's in basketball. But anyway, not
ooh,
only is it a privilege, because I'm an Archie, not only is it a privilege to sing our country's anthem, but the video a friend took that was posted on Facebook has over 300,000 views. So pretty cool moment for this independent artist. So that is awesome, Taylor. 300,000 views just from the national anthem. I like it. I like that on many levels. So good job there. And here's one from climber Bob Abner. Speaking of Ten Commandments, he said he recently attended the Write About Jesus conference, and that's an annual Christian songwriting conference. And it used to be in St. Louis. Now, since Sue Smith, who's a hit Southern gospel writer, she heads it up. She lives in Nashville now. Now it's over in Nashville. But he said no prize, but a lot of very positive comments, beautiful, heartfelt, very melodic, touched me emotionally, musically, etc. So he got some good feedback on some of his songs. And so yeah, he had a good time. So that is a win, going to networking, getting some feedback. So good job,
heck
Bob,
yeah.
and Taylor and everyone else that listed one I didn't get to. So congrats and keep on climbing.
I love it. Well, there you go. Make sure you follow the podcast or subscribe to it, however that works on your favorite podcast platform, and
Mm-hmm.
tell a friend about it. We are doing this for you. You know what I mean? We want to help you. And obviously you're spending time, as we have so many climbers now that are just like on the regular, listening to it, getting value out of it.
Love it.
Love that. But somebody else that you know can use this information, man. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Can help them too. And let's get everybody straight. Brent and I thrive of a world with independently successful singers and songwriters and indie artists that
Mm-hmm.
don't need his permission. That's a perfect world for us, you know?
That's a pretty world.
Yeah. It's like heaven on earth, right? Like it's not the heaven, but it's heaven on earth, right?
Yes. Belinda
So
Carlisle. Yes.
so so let's get into this. I'm just going to tell you where I got this idea from, and I
Uh-huh.
just absolutely love it. But I'm like you, Brent, a big fan of paid coaching, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I so one of the world's best copywriters. And when I say copywriting in terms of marketing, I'm not talking about a music copyright like publishing or anything like
Right.
that. This is ad copywriting, right? These are
Mm-hmm.
the use of words and word patterns to communicate an idea to somebody and explain to them what it is you have, because you know that they want it, right?
Yeah.
So uh he has, I don't know how many different courses, or what, I mean, some are like, one-on-one courses, and these are very expensive items and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
all his digital course vault, everything in it, he had this sale for like I think it was 147 bucks.
Yeah,
And
which is
I own
crazy.
all his books already, and I was just like, I think I was like sipping a cup of coffee, and I'm like, click, yep. Like I
Like
did not even
Pulse
put,
didn't even change tempo.
yeah, my pulse didn't even change, dude.
Right.
It was just like, yep.
Yeah.
And got that. And so I
And so
just
I
kind
don't
of
think you've
started.
said his name yet. I don't think you've said
His name is Ray Edwards.
yes.
Ray Edwards.
He has a podcast, the Ray Edwards
He has a
Show.
great podcast, and this is some 2.0 stuff, marketing, that like when you guys really start to embrace that you're marketers now, and that you have to
Mm-hmm.
promote and you have to do all this stuff.
Come
You,
back to
you,
this
you
episode.
Yeah, like after this episode, then this is a great resource to go to, by the way. Ray Edwards, get on his mailing list. There's about 1 million things you can get for free
Mm-hmm.
from him, with all his different lead magnets, and you can be in on that mailing list. And those books are fantastic, but just finding ways to serve stuff up that doesn't feel salesy or schmarmy or greasy or gross, or
Mm-hmm.
it is just like it's just the same way between writing a horrible song lyric that's just cheese, like "I love the moon in June when
Right.
I'm listening to a tune in your room," versus something important that you have to say, right? It's the same thing with copywriting. It's a different lyric y'all.
It,
It's a
but it's
different lyric that if you can master or be proficient at songwriting, then you can also be proficient at this. But
it's your most
when
lucrative lyric if you
yeah,
master
it's your
that
most
one.
lucrative lyric because this is the lyric that's going to turn people on to the idea that they need to listen to your music.
Hmm.
It's what's going to give your music a chance to do the talking, right?
That's right.
So anyway, I love this kind of stuff, and I was going through one of these courses. He's the 10 Commandments of marketing, and I thought I wrote down all these commandments, and I just absolutely loved them. And then, of course, I'm assessing everything I'm doing for my clients,
Yeah.
feeling pretty good about myself,
Hmm.
feeling pretty good about the funnels I created, the marketing that I'm doing, the way that I'm approaching this stuff. But you know what? I just thought of the more I thought about it, I was going to kind of just adapt this for marketing for and kind of just rehash this. But then I just completely changed it for our podcast.
Oh
Still
yeah.
going to call it the 10 Commandments though. But these are like the things that I just see happening so many times right on
Hmm.
with artists. I'm in the middle of one right now, and it's like they're breaking these commandments, and it's becoming a problem. So let's get started because there's a
Yes,
lot.
let's do it because I have a
Okay?
feeling this is going to help me out too.
So number one,
All
you
right.
will repeat this phrase in your head. So repeat it with me. I'm going to say it once, and then we're going to repeat it together. Okay, here it is. I finally finished this project. Now I'm just getting started.
I finally finished this
Finish this
project.
project.
Now
Now
I'm
I'm
just getting
just getting
started.
started. Yeah,
Hmm.
I finally finished this project. Now I'm just getting started. Congratulations, you finished mixing your project. You're 5% finished with executing the entirety of the project.
Right.
You've got 95% more work to do. 95% of your time, blood, sweat, tears, creative energy, and your precious finances need to be applied to what happens next, the promotion of your
Hmm.
project. Okay. Uh, that's that's really like that's the opener right there. That's number one because when you really realize this, when you really realize like I'm not done when we get done
Yeah.
mixing the record, I'm just getting started, then everything else starts to make more sense here. Okay.
Hmm.
Commandment number two.
All right.
There are known knowns, there are
Hmm.
known unknowns, and there are unknown unknowns regarding the release and promotion of your project.
So you don't know anything.
That's right. Here's the known knowns. Here's an example of a known known, right?
Okay.
You know that your mix and mastering engineer promised your project would be completed by this date. You
Yes.
know you can't control the completion of the project at this moment if you're being intellectually honest with yourself.
Right.
Don't you dare promise your fans or yourself anything.
Mm.
It's out of your hands until
Hmm.
it's in your hands. And
Huh.
even when it's there are things that you know are out of your hands. So don't think, behave, and plan as if you have control of everything until you actually have control of it.
Mm.
Don't plan or coordinate any release parties, press releases, or any kind of activities or behaviors that require your master tracks when you know you don't have your master tracks.
Ain't final till it's vinyl, baby.
Oh, let me tell you something. I can't even tell you how many times it's just like, why are we planning this? Why are we doing this right now? Well, because this is well, okay. Do you have the master tracks? Well, no. Is it okay? So, does it require the master tracks? Yeah. Okay, so we can't plan that.
We can't. Yeah, right.
You don't have them. You know.
Right.
So here's an example of known unknowns. You know that you don't know exactly when you'll get your mastered tracks until you get them.
Mm-hmm. Because something can always happen. Ain't final till it's final.
So here's two answers that, when are you going to get your masters? Okay, September 23rd. That's what our mastering engineer said. So let's get this thing started. Let's get the ball rolling.
And
Wrong answer.
yeah, because everyone in the music business always hits all their projections, always hits all their deadlines. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So when are you going to get your masters? Well, I don't know exactly. Our mastering engineer said September 23rd, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Correct answer.
Correct answer. That is true.
Okay.
Yep.
Then there's the unknown unknowns. Your mastering engineer could get hit by a bus, get a life-changing project, have a baby, blow up his rig, have a fire, get high, have a flood, fall off the wagon, get multiple flight cancellations trying to get home to get to your project,
Mhm.
or just be bad at customer service.
Yes.
Don't plan anything
Mhm.
until you have your mastered tracks in your hand.
Amen.
On the surface, it seems inefficient,
Mhm.
or like a waste of time, right? You want to coordinate a tighter, smoother, more epic transition from mastering to release and promotion. But believe me, this commandment here, break this or don't break this commandment, and it will save you heartache, frustration,
Reputation.
friendships, personal relationships,
Mhm.
business relationships, and stress.
Yeah.
You don't have your mastered tracks until you have your mastered tracks.
Mhm.
Okay. Commandment number 3: you will upload your masters to the aggregate distributor at least 6 weeks before the release date.
6 weeks? That seems unnecessary.
Yeah, preferably 8 weeks.
Highly unnecessary.
How about that? Editorial playlists will not happen for sure on Spotify before 6 weeks. I can guarantee it. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Why would you forsake that? You get in the right
Mhm.
playlist, you could get lucky and
Mhm.
get in the right playlist, and all of a sudden, that's where you can make some money.
Yeah.
You know? Don't forsake all the possibility of making money on a cool playlist because you promised a release date and experienced delays in your production process.
Mm.
Unforeseen delays.
Yep.
Right? Well, I didn't know about that. But you did know that you didn't know.
Exactly.
Think about it.
Prepare to be surprised, right? Expect the
Exactly.
unexpected.
Exactly. Well, I thought we would have them in our hands, but you didn't have them in your hands.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So if you're marketing and promoting correctly, or how about this? If you're marketing and promoting at all,
Mhm.
this 6 to 8 week time period will actually seem like a pressure cooker,
Mhm.
as opposed to some inordinate amount of random time you're forced to wait for your music to drop because Johnny said so.
Exactly. You're not gonna be sitting on your thumbs unless you totally have your thumb up your butt and you're not doing your job.
Yeah, you should feel a little overwhelmed when you realize like how much freaking content, micro content, photo shoots,
Mhm.
stylizing you got to do, that you have to dream up, coordinate, shoot, edit, post production, and prepare and distribute
Mhm.
before the release drops.
That's right.
It's this boatload of work.
Mhm.
Once again, this is 95% of the work.
Yeah.
Okay. Commandment number 4: you will not plan a release and promotion from delivery promises forward. You will plan release and promotion from the release date backwards.
Okay, say that again because you just blew my brain up a little bit.
Okay,
What
you will
now?
not plan your release and promotion. You're not going to put that train in the tracks from delivery promises forward. Right? Well, my guy says he's gonna get it
Oh,
to us on the 23rd. You
so
will plan release and promotion from the release date that you want backwards,
okay.
okay? So, you know, um, if you have a patriotic song and you wanna release it on Veterans Day, because that's
Mhm.
tomorrow on the day we're recording. This is gonna drop after Veterans Day, but,
Mhm.
because that would be cool, and it would just be absolutely perfect, then you need to work backward from that date with this timeline.
Yes.
Okay, so 8 weeks prior to that, I have to have the mixes in my hand,
Mhm.
and I have to have it uploaded to the aggregate distributor,
Yeah.
right? So that's 2 months. So that's October, that's September 11th
Mhm.
that you must have the mixes done.
Well, that's
Well,
ironic.
that means that the recording will be done,
Yes.
right? I mean, I've actually had conversations with people trying to get a song released, and we're 3 weeks from the release date, and, well, we're trying to get in next week to just finish a couple guitar parts, then we'll be done with it. Then we're gonna get it mixed, then we're gonna get it mastered, and
Oh,
then,
huh.
I'm just, like, listening to them like, "What?
Yeah.
No. No!" That's from an indie label, by the way,
A
okay?
label. They
It
should know better.
Yeah. So, add 20% across the board to all your costs.
Mhm.
Whatever this is what it's gonna cost, add 20% to that. Be pleasantly surprised if it's not,
Yeah.
if it's less than that, okay? And add at least 30% more time onto everybody's promises for mixes, mastering. When you saw a lot of you guys are doing this on a shoestring budget. That was the case with that conversation I just referenced because they're working with a huge freaking producer who's, doing it on the bro rate. But what does that mean? In between other projects that
Yes.
are paying him the full rate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the time he made the promise you could come in tomorrow or the next week, he had these two projects, but then he got a third one. Guess what? Time schedule shift. You shift down the totem pole, down the ladder, and you are on a hurry up and wait plan. That's why you're getting it for so cheap. That's okay, but don't don't be angry at that person
Just
because you've made all these plans to release on Veterans Day.
Yeah, that's right. Well, just remember you're living in the world of the law of you can have it fast, you can have it cheap, you can have it quality. Pick any two. And
That's
you
right. The
chose
rule of 3. Mhm.
exactly the rule of three. So you chose, cheap and quality. Well, guess what? You can't bank on fast.
You will not have it fast. And so therefore, deadlines are on the bro rate for stuff. Deadlines are not really deadlines. You don't really have deadlines when it comes to the bro rate. You don't have it until you have it.
Because
Okay.
if
And
you bug
and
them
you
too
know what
much,
you know
they're
what'll
not you.
destroy that friendship and that business relationship is when he's bending over backwards to try to give you the
Mhm.
bro rate, putting you in between the cracks, and all of a sudden now you've created another deadline, and that emergency on your deadline becomes his emergency, and now he's supposed to behave like you're his top paying customer
Mhm.
because of your poor planning.
Yeah. Well, and now y'all aren't bros anymore.
Yep. Well, it's not fair to you to ask him that.
Exactly.
That's not the deal that you made.
You're not being a bro. Be a bro,
And
bro.
guess what? It's even worse. A lot of people in this business are just bad at business,
Yeah.
especially at the mid level. You
Mhm.
know, like the super, super pros typically aren't.
Mhm.
Okay. They're going to be your top professional, but you mostly can't afford them.
Right.
So you're going to have this, but well, hey, man, you know, they just aren't working as fast as you want them to. So, factor that in. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you absolutely envision a specific date for a release, then you need to work backwards from that and make sure that you have plenty of time. Because the biggest mistake I see, well, no, but it just would be so perfect because it's Veterans Day and it's this patriotic song. And it's not going to work if we don't. And by the way, of course, when I'm having this conversation, it's like, well, what's the budget for promotion? Well, we haven't got there yet. I'm like, who's the hell's even gonna know that you release it on Veterans Day?
Right, exactly.
This is frustrating, right? All right, I'm sorry. Uh, number 5, commandment number 5: you will release one song at a time.
Ooh, this is
If you
new.
have a
This is a little bit new world here.
This is New World. If you have an EP or an album, you release each song one at a time and not drop the entire record.
Mhm.
You'll do this because it gives you 6 to 8 more weeks of new content to create and put out per release to
Mhm.
promote your work, and to work that record,
Yeah.
right? Because if this is how everything works today on digital, you're releasing on digital, not radio.
Yeah.
You get a couple free radio spins because you got some relationships in radio. God bless you. That's icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Okay, but that is not the chassis, the meat and potatoes. That's not what supports your promotion strategy. All right. Now, you don't have to forsake the album as a work of art. And I'm a big fan of the album as a work of art.
Mhm.
I'd guide you back to Adam Alpert, who's the manager for Chainsmokers. Their release strategy is an album building release strategy, which is fantastic. They release a song in January. When they release the next song in February, it's released as a package with the February song plus the January song together.
Hmm.
So you have the January song release on on Spotify, right? Plus the January song and the February song as a package for 3 days.
Hmm. Cool.
And the January song get the same ISRC codes. So all that information floods over in 3 days. Then they remove the January song, the solo there, and now they have a package with the January song and the February song. Then when it's time for the March release, they release the brand new March song, the March release, along with the January and the February release as a 3-song package.
Huh.
Right? And so for a weekend, they have the January and February release on Spotify, and then right below that will be the package with the January, February, and March release for 3 days. And then they get rid of when all the ISRC floods over, they don't want to lose any streams or anything.
Mhm.
Then the January, February package gets removed. And then so they're building the album track by track. And when they're done building it, there's an album there, not just this random vomit trail of releases.
Interesting.
Right. So it's kind of cool. All right. Number 6, commandment number 6, you will create new artwork for each release.
Mm-hmm.
This prevents eye fatigue. And I'm talking about artwork that it's for that specific song, for that release, different image, you know, with the whatever font you want, whatever you
The
want to say.
rapper, yes.
The rapper has to be different. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Okay. Number 7, commandment number 7, you will update all social media headers with each and every release. Facebook header, Instagram header, TikTok header, Spotify header. And by the way, I say headers and also profile pictures. But you're not necessarily mainly the header. Okay. You absolutely have to do the header. You don't necessarily have to do the profile picture. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, your website. Spotify's algorithm is aware of this. It helps you. Okay. Also looks like you know what you're doing. Looks professional. Yeah. That's what professional people do. Okay. And if you just take 2 seconds and Google all of the image dimensions for each of these headers, you will find about 5 million handy dandy free little cheat sheets that will tell you here's the most recent dimensions for all this stuff. So make sure that that artwork fits on each of those headers, because Facebook's different than Instagram, which is different than TikTok, different than Spotify, different than YouTube. YouTube's a tricky one because you kind of got to center it in a weird spot, like in the middle, but you'll figure it out. And YouTube actually, shows you how to do it. Okay. Nice. But make sure that it's accurate. Number 8, commandment number 8. You will create micro content and video content for each release. Well, that sounds like a lot of work. See why you need those 8 weeks?
Yeah.
See why you need those 8 weeks? So video content, if you do a music video, that's great. Okay. I just saw, I just was like, Janelle's out of town, and like when she's out of town, we're separated from each other. We always send each other like music video stuff, that makes us, here's a song that makes me think of you. And I'm always keeps me searching for new songs that are saying something I want to say to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We speak through music, and it's kind of really cool.
Get a room. Yeah.
And, and, I'm not sure when this came out, but there's a song called Rumor from, who did My Truck?
There's Lee Bryce.
Lee Bryce, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that his new one?
That's not new anymore, no.
Okay, so here's one. Go and check out the Lee Bryce Rumor music video. This is all Lee Bryce. Okay, they shot it in Bobby's Idle Hour on Music Row. And if you will notice, there's a lot of different shots, and it moves the way it's supposed to move. Great song, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's a good song. I just love his voice, and the production is so cool on that. But but what they've done, I want you to, this is an exercise in like how this is such a simplistically cool music video that's all about the artist. It's got the artist's face in there. and it's an exercise in cinematography, and they took one scene. It's one location. He's in the same spot throughout the whole freaking music video. So he's sitting by a window with the Bobby's Idol Hour thing behind him,
Mhm.
and he's singing the song, and there's a close up of his face. That's one shot. Then there's a mid section, like a bust up of his face. That's
Yeah.
shot number two. Then there's a long shot where you can see that he's sitting down. You can see his legs and stuff, and he's looking into the camera. That's shot number three. And then there is a shot there's patrons at the bar. Okay. And there's a shot from behind the bar where the focus pull is on the patrons, so he's blurred out in the background
Mhm.
singing, looking sideways. And it just goes back and rotates back and forth
Hmm.
between those shots. It's like I bet you that damn thing took 2 hours to shoot,
Yeah.
but they had to shoot it all the way with each of those shots all the way through,
Mhm.
right? And do that. And there's probably one more on there that I'm not thinking of. And the shots with like behind the bar shot, that's the only one's actually moving. That's
Yeah.
always moving kind of slowly down the bar,
Yeah.
and you can see him blurred out in the background, but otherwise it's just him singing into the thing. Man, it's really cool.
Huh.
It's really interesting. It's extremely minimalistic, and this is easy
Yeah.
if you just study like that music video, it's a tutorial on how to do this, get it done fast, and have a great piece of content to support your song. And there's your music video,
Cool.
right? And then what can you shoot for your lyric video? And then what about the micro content?
Well, I would say that just makes me say we shot the same, video from these different angles. That makes me want to release them and have people do their own edits.
What do you mean?
Like,
What do you
oh,
mean?
here's the video tracks. Here's a video of these 5 different angles we did of this song.
Oh, here's this, like the stems
Here's the
essentially.
stems,
Here's the
basically.
original files.
Here are the
Oh,
different video angles. Yeah, go ahead and cut your own.
oh, that's really interesting. I never thought of that. That's like actually really cool. Hey, edit it yourself and let's see what you come up with.
Yeah.
That's really smart. That's so cool because there's so many people that are getting good at this now.
Yeah, exactly.
Y-
Go practice.
You know what I mean? That's really smart. But so you need a music video, put a lyric video in there too if you can, but you got to have micro content.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you just micro content. What am I focusing on right now with Josh Roy is how many different places I can get him to sing the song, to lip sync the song into his iPhone from a selfie thing. So this is very sort of low budge,
Mhm.
right? But where there's just some amazing stuff going on behind him.
Yeah.
Um, so what does amazing mean? Well, now you're asking the right questions,
Yeah.
right? So for him, he lives in Arizona. I mean,
Mhm.
there's so many amazing backdrops that we can have in the desert, and that drive up to Payson from Phoenix is like it's the word God's country comes to mind. Like you
Yeah.
see that, and it's breathtaking. But then it could be your kids playing in the background. It could be puppies. It could be the Eiffel Tower. It could
Mhm.
be it could just be anything interesting going on in the background, and you sing the whole song into your iPhone and lip sync the whole thing, and then you're going to cut up pieces of that. You're always going to use the chorus hook in
Mhm.
that, and then but if there's like a couple lines in the verses that are just like anvil over the head
Yeah.
type lines, then why not exploit those as well? And how many different places can you do that?
Mhm. That's
You
interesting.
know,
Yeah.
and for him, I mean, part of his brand is again, he's not a cowboy. If he was Cody Johnson, he'd be at a rodeo, be in horses,
Yeah.
be in a ranch, be working with his boys mending a barbed wire fence at the dinner table, right?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe there's a card game, all these kinds of things. And Josh is rugged, so it's that stuff is part of his brand, and it's just who he is. It's where he's from,
Yeah.
and it just all fits really good. But then there's all kinds of other stuff too. It could be him just driving down the road, or it could be him in a car next to his truck with his trailer, which is wrapped. So there's his name, and there's he singing the song, but there's
Yeah.
stuff moving behind it. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you're at a traffic at the corner on the sidewalk of a busy intersection.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? and you go and you do something like that. Maybe you go and you film that for 20 minutes with a GoPro and get some time lapse, and then you green screen it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's like a million ways, a million things that you can do to just create something interesting to look at while you woo them into falling in love with your
Hmm.
song hook. Right.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the extra thing. So that's like, that's the heroine, right? Now here comes the fentanyl hit. And that is, we're going to start telling his story with the text
Yeah.
while he's singing that song. So now there's something I got to read. It's not too much.
Hmm.
So a little something I got to read. And maybe it's not the whole story, which is going to make me want to go to the next one and go down
Yeah.
if I tell that story. But guess what I'm doing while I'm reading? I'm hearing that song.
Hmm.
you know?
I've been hearing some of that with Mark Bray. Of course, Mark,
Yep.
and
Love
he
Mark
had,
Twain.
and I've just I go off and on when I'm on TikTok and when I'm not and stuff, and it just depends on like, is there something going on I want the Chinese to know about or not, whatever. But so ran across Mark on TikTok because Randy Barber called me about something with Mark, and so anyway, um, so I've been following that, and he has some of that stuff with he has one of it, assuming is one of his tracks in the background, and it's like, here's my story.
Yeah.
4 years ago we had this record in the can, and blah blah blah, and this happened.
Yes.
Now we're going back in, and like
Yes.
telling that
And he
story
had a
and
lot of, like, studio shots and
studio
stuff from
shots and
that.
stuff. Yeah.
So, again, so interesting stuff, right? That's
Hmm.
thank you for saying that, because here I am trying to, like, dream stuff up, but also, yeah, you should have camera, like, you can have live show shots going on in the background.
Hmm.
You can be telling that story with B-roll, that was like B-roll, right? That
Hmm.
was B-roll from the stuff we did in the studio with that. I know Lexi's in some of those shots, and I think I'm in one of those shots or a couple of those shots, and certainly the band is, and yeah, you guys are going from one gig to the next, and it's just cutting up or whatever,
Hmm.
and and you can have the whole band screwing around in the van or whatever it is you guys travel in, and there you are, focused,
Hmm.
lip syncing to the song, right?
Yeah.
There's just so much that you can do because you're going to cut it up into 20-second pieces of micro content, or if your chorus is a little bit longer, maybe it's 25 seconds, or if it's a
Yeah.
little shorter, maybe it's 15 seconds, but that's the stuff. So you've got to have all of that, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, music videos. Well, that brings us to commandment number 9. You will have video and image ads for every one of your release campaigns.
Mm.
So you need music videos, story videos, lyric videos, micro content videos. You want the album, or the release artwork, right?
Hmm.
Show posters. If there's, if this is connecting with live shows, if you're playing on a regular basis, and so that'll be image stuff right there. But on your image ads, you want to make sure that all the copy on there is readable
Hmm.
in the show poster, right? It needs to pop. So shadowing is your friend.
Hmm.
When you start messing around with Canva or PicMonkey, which are two very, very inexpensive ways to do this, a lot of you might have free apps on your phone that you can do this with. Play with the shadowing. Shadow,
Hmm.
shadow, 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 shadow.
Yeah.
Shadow's a great way to make your text pop out from a busy background.
Hmm.
Or, if it's sort of the same color font as it is in the background or similar, it'll pop, right?
Yep.
But then make sure about the colors. Don't be too busy with the artwork. Don't make it so that it's like, don't be so clever that it's just difficult to read. You have to think like a consumer. You're going
Yeah.
to try to read all this information about this show or about this pre-save, right?
Hmm.
Or about this release date. I want to be able to read it in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
If I have to find it, if I got to focus, I got to squint. If I got to work to try to input that information, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I
So,
have enough
so
work. I don't
yeah,
need extra. Stop giving me homework. Call it giving them
yeah,
homework. Like the listener, like when you're writing a song, don't give them too much homework. Try not to give them any
exactly.
homework. Give them
Yeah,
the answer key right then. you
spoon
know
feed it. Yeah.
exactly. Spoon feed it. Yeah.
So yeah, don't add to the busyness with unnecessary graphics or artistic flair. Put something cool in there, but and really, you can go to anybody. Go to your spouse. go to your best friend who's not in your band, go to your preacher, go to your work mate, and just be like, hey, read this. Can you tell what it says right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then pull it away. What did it say?
Yep.
If they're like, I can't read it, just go fix it.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is like once you nail this once, then you just know how to do it. You know what I mean? And you're just always then you're going to be kind of a Nazi on making sure that everything pops and that you're communicating because you're not here to waste anybody's time. What you are here to do, and you're not here to impress them with your artwork.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come to a friggin' art show. You're here to tell them, hey, we're playing this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hey, click this link and pre-save my song. Hey, this is available now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You will consistently, this is number 10, commandment number 10, you will consistently put your project in front of new eyeballs and your current fans.
Mm.
So who's your audience when it comes to new eyeballs? Right? And your organic posts of new content will not be seen by 97 to 99% of your current fans or followers. So what are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Social media growth is a byproduct of consistent content and traffic. Okay. Now that traffic has to be, you're only going to get so much traffic and it's probably not going to grow at a rate that you can even really measure organically.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're going to need some paid traffic in there. Have a budget. And viral videos are a byproduct of consistent content strategies.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a viral lucky video, but this is not a business model.
Right.
That's a bonus.
I got a 1-page business plan. You open it up, it says, get lucky.
When
That
you
was easy
said
to
that,
put
I
together.
pictured Steve Buscemi.
Hello, fellow high schoolers. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there it is, guys. Those are the 10 commandments. And actually, now looking at this, I think I'm going to refine this. I'm going to have like 10 commandments for release strategies,
Mm-hmm.
For releasing, and 10 commandments for promotion.
Yeah.
But and these will both be on that. You didn't miss anything, right? These are all abide by these. I'm gonna make them in, I think, maybe into 2 different things. But that's it, guys. Like these are commandments. Do not break these. Don't break them. And so many people just break them. They break them.
You know why? Because they're not following the 11th commandment. Okay. Here's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt have a written playbook. Okay.
Yeah.
So like for my events, we do the play for a publisher. We do the Pro Connect. We do these, different events, right? It's a lot to keep in your head. All these little different things you got to set up. All this little
lot
tech
of
stuff,
details.
a lot of detail work on song, for my songwriting pro stuff. And so I set up playbooks. That's just a checklist. It's another. I like playbook because you like sports, So it's a checklist.
Playbook sounds cooler than checklist. I'm stealing that.
It does. I got that from my sister. Thank you, Dion. Yeah. And it's a playbook. Nice. And so I have these playbooks for these different events. So when it's time, I print off the template, start filling in the details. That way I can refer to it going, oh yeah, Play for Publisher actually is going on again, this time with our buddy Michael August from Demolition.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah. So he's going to come on board for this next one. So he's going to be listening to songs, but I have that checklist going, okay, confirm the guest, Michael August. All right. What's the event date? Oh, it's going to be January 5th of 2023. Okay. When's the cutoff date? Oh, December 14th. You better get your songs in. We're going to announce winners on December, and here's the discount code for Songwriting Pro members. And here's the blah, blah,
so
blah, blah, blah.
Hold on, everybody.
Playlist.
Hold on, everybody. It's a playbook, but hold on, everybody. Do you see what he did here? He's like, we're going to hold the event on January 5th.
Mm-hmm.
That's the drop date.
Yeah.
And then he's working backwards. He's working backwards. And now he knows, like, holy crap, I got to get to work. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's months away because it is months away, but there's a lot. I only have this amount of time to get this mission critical step done in time for blah, 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 blah. Instead of, holy crap, it's December 18th and we got something coming up on January 5th. Christmas is coming up. I got real busy, but you know how that is. And so, hey, everybody, hurry up. And now it's everybody's emergency. Your emergency is everybody's emergency. And it's a cluster F.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I work backwards. So once I confirmed a good, I look far enough out. Okay, January, that'd be it because of the holidays and stuff. Hey, how's early January? Oh, January 5th is great for the date. Awesome. Lock that in. Okay, well, I want to announce the winners at least a week ahead of time. Let's fiddle around Christmas. Okay, so what? Announce the top 10 songs here. Okay, now I need my window to listen. Okay, which
Yeah.
puts the deadline here, which means I would like a month to collect songs, which puts oh, it's on sale now. Let's go. Boom.
Yep. Yep.
And so I have time
Yeah.
to do everything I need to do. Because
Yep.
it'll be a bear if all of a sudden I have a 1 day listening window. I got to go through 200 songs to find 10, to get them out. It's just no. There's
This
work to
is
be done.
about execution. This is project management and execution.
Hmm.
Okay. If you don't do this all the time, then you're screwing yourself, and
Yeah.
you and I had a conversation before about a situation that's happening right now before we press record today of this exact issue that I'm having with one of our really good friends, who's brilliant, but not a project manager. And there is no playbook.
Yeah.
And it looks like that every time they walk out on the field.
Yeah.
And because it's events, there's things you have to do. Your release of your next release, it's an event.
It is. You want it to be an event, treat it like an
And you
event.
need a playbook for that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And then you need a playbook after that.
Yeah.
So here's the playbook before the release date.
Hmm.
And then here's the release date now, because you're setting up for promotion and release before, and now after that is the promotion.
Yeah.
And what is that supposed to look like? So yeah, guys, this is heavy. It's important. You can't not do it. You can't wing it. You can't wing
Hmm.
it.
I mean, and it saves so much head trauma having a playbook because you list it
Yeah.
all out and you'd be like, oh, that's a crap ton of stuff. But at least you know so you don't miss stuff. And then that causes fires. And then you're
Yeah.
trying to put out fires. Man,
Yes.
it's your fire extinguisher ahead of time. It's your preemptive fire extinguisher, man. It's your fireproofing. I mean, nothing's, there are
And
the
again,
unknown
you
unknowns we
save
don't
what?
know.
Friendships, business
Hmm.
relationships,
Gray
personal. You're
hairs.
not bringing the fire home to M,
Right. Yeah.
and barking at her because you've had a bad day because you created it for your damn self.
Oh, it's supposed to be my family night. Well, I got to work on my family night. Why? Because I screwed up and I didn't take care of this thing and it jumped back up and bit me in the butt. And now
Uh,
sorry.
yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's avoid that. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's work the playbook. So,
Yeah. Work
there's
the
always the
playbook.
unknown unknowns.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Right. But it's not going to be my fault.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, I forgot to do this thing. No, it's like, oh, this other goofball did something or
Yeah.
whatever.
But that limits the vulnerability. You're protected. You're shielded
Hmm.
against everything. Now, there's going to be every once in a while an unknown that gets through.
Right.
That comes in, but that's like the perfect shot, right? That's like you're like the dragon with the one scale underneath the chest that
But
he's vulnerable on, but the arrows can't pierce anywhere else
right. It's the exhaust
except
port
for
on the
that.
Death Star.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. The 2 meter little box on the Death
Yeah.
Star. What was it called? The what?
It's like the exhaust port, I think.
Exhaust port.
I
Yeah.
know it's about the size of a Womp Rat. I know that. But yeah.
Which is actually, if you think about a pretty clean Death Star when it comes to emissions.
It's I mean, they were definitely
That was a
efficient.
huge star.
British space Nazis were very efficient.
Yeah, they were.
British space Nazis. That's what they are.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, listen, that brings us to the end of another Killer Climb episode. Listen, you want to get your head right about the new music industry. It's all about traffic. Whoever owns the traffic rules the road. How do you make money? We can't make any money on Spotify. You can make money with traffic.
Hmm.
You can make lots of money with traffic. Every day, people you've never heard of and you never will hear of that are in your industry making music are making 7 figures because they understand traffic. It's
Hmm.
all about the traffic. This is the basis to solving all your problems, and I put it all into a free PDF that you can download at
Hey.
giftfromjohnny.com. It's called Whoever Owns the Traffic Rules the Road. So just go to giftfromjohnny, JOHNNY.com, and tell me where to send it. It's yours free. This is a pretty robust PDF with, I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of work into putting this together to make it say what I wanted to say, but also visually explain to you what's happening and make it make sense, and and try to communicate this point. So go and get that. Join the C.L.I.M.B community. Follow or subscribe to the podcast and tell a friend about it. This podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.